Hello, my name is Abby Bentel, and I am reporting on how COVID-19 has affected the schools in Lubbock, Texas. To give us some more insight, I'm here with my friend Janelle DeSautel. She teaches 5th grade at Cooper South Elementary. How are you doing today, Janelle?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Now, are you teaching virtually, face-to-face, or are you doing both?
As of right now, I'm just teaching face-to-face with my students.
Okay. So with everything going on right now, I know there's a bunch of precautions that you have to take. Can you just kind of give us some insight on your day-to-day schedule, how you're keeping you and your students safe, and what's going on with that?
Yeah. So Cooper South has done a really good job about keeping our school very sanitary. For the most part, I mean, students in the morning, they go to specials, and as soon as they leave for specials, the custodians are in there cleaning their desk, wiping everything down, making sure everything's clean. Even after they go to recess and lunch, the custodians in there are once again, they're cleaning the bathrooms like constantly all day to make sure that these kids are being clean, safe, and healthy. During the school day, we are required to wear masks all day unless we're standing up teaching and far enough back from the student. We can take our mask off so we can project our voice for the students to hear, but as soon as we go around to help students, we put them right back on. Students are spread out as much as possible in classrooms. I mean, we got a whole bunch of students in just a small amount of space, but they're spread out. When they're up, walking around the room and actually interacting with one another, they have to put their mask on. But if they're just sitting quietly at their desk doing independent work, they can take them off for a minute to have a quick breath and then put them back on.
How do you think the parents and students feel with going through all of this, especially during a pandemic?
The students, I think they're okay with it, but they like the love and affection. I mean, I teach elementary, so they love their hugs, they love to play with their friends, they want to show that affection, you know, and they don't really get to now. And parents, I feel like it's a bit of a struggle for them because they're like, do I send my kid to school or do I keep them virtual? Because I need to go back to work, but I don't want my kid, you know, getting COVID-19. So parents have had a real struggle, I think, with that decision. But as of today, Lubbock Cooper did send out an email saying that they were not doing virtual any longer. So secondary will start back next week and elementary will start back after the 9 weeks. So students will no longer be virtual, they will only be face-to-face.
And I know you said that you're only doing face-to-face, but do you think that for people that are doing virtual, like for teachers, that it will be a little less, not so much intense, not so much?
I think it'll be a lot more, like, less stressful for them, just because that's a lot. Because last year I did teach virtual for half a semester, and it was rough trying to get your kids to do their work or teach them a concept that you've never taught them before and them understand it, because they're not there right there with you to ask the questions.
So while we were in class, we watched a documentary called Waiting for the Superman, and it talked about a lot how schools in poverty or schools that are a little more beneficial within their programs, how they affect a student. Mm-hmm. And we also learned that people born in 1980 have on average 40% less chance to earn more money than their parents than people in 1940. So with that being said, people categorized as poor are said to have a less chance to succeed, especially in school, like going on to college or something like that, than people that are categorized as rich. Do you personally see an increase or decrease in the learning gap between the rich and poor in response to COVID?
I mean, there's always going to be a learning gap, but from COVID, I definitely do see a learning gap. I mean, just from March till now, you can see that students from across the board have a learning gap, but especially those ones that don't have parents to actually be there with them at home or to be there with them and help them. There's definitely a gap there. We can see that with the data that we've collected. We use a test called MAP, and we can see that our virtual students versus our face-to-face students are suffering more just because they're not getting that instruction time. And some of those students that are staying home are in that lower socioeconomic status.
So as we thought, teachers are struggling a lot and they're having to do a lot this semester and even starting in March. But especially with students that require special accommodations, as what you deal with, I definitely see that it can be hard, especially wearing masks all day, keeping them away from each other as much as possible.
Just so hard.
I did just want to thank you. Appreciate all the teachers out there that are working just as hard as you are.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.